evening, soccer fans, and welcome to Soccer Night in Rochester. I am Joe Giuliano. Tonight, it's the Rochester Rhinos taking on the Minnesota Thunder from Paytech Park. Kickoff coming up at 7:30 p.m. The Rochester Rhinos, the home team this evening, currently in 6th place in the USL First Division, 7 wins, 8 losses, and 8 ties. That's 28 points. And hot on their heels, tonight's opponent, the Minnesota Thunder, 7 wins, 9 losses, and 6 ties. They've got 27 points. And as I'm sure you all know, Rochester has a 1-point deduction due to the mix-up with Andrew Greger. They had 29 points. Now they are down to 28. Andrew Greger, again, sitting out tonight's game as well. Rochester and Minnesota have met 2 times this season. Both of those games were in Minnesota. July the 20th, the Rhinos win 1-0. Johnny Menyongar scoring the winning goal there. And then earlier, May the 4th, Minnesota getting the 1-0 win. All-time, Rochester has really had the number of the Minnesota Thunder, going 10-3-1 in the regular season against tonight's visiting Minnesota Thunder. Well, you want to talk about promotions? We've got promotions here at Paytech Park this evening. There's a ticket promotion. There's a buy one, get one free with vouchers at Wendy's. Also, we've got a Bark in the Park promotion this evening. That's right, you can bring your dog on a leash no longer than 4 feet, mingle with others, and you can meet the dog whisperer, Mark Sherman. That's right, it's Bark in the Park this evening here at Paytech Park as the Rhinos take on the Minnesota Thunder. Also, the first 1,000 fans get Kodak Fun Saver cameras. That's right, the first 1,000 fans get the Kodak Fun Saver cameras. So stick around when we come back. We'll break down the Rochester Rhinos. A couple new faces in camp this week for the Rochester Rhinos. We'll talk about that when we come. Welcome back to the Rochester Rhinos pregame radio show, sponsored by Power Trip. This segment of the show is brought to you by Freetime Magazine. I'm Joe Giuliano. Tonight it's the Rochester Rhinos playing host to the Minnesota Thunder. And the Rhinos currently in 6th place, 7-8-8. They've got 28 points. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. This is game number 24 out of 30 for the Rochester Rhinos. And before the break, we talked about some big personnel moves this week in the Rochester Rhinos camp. They welcome back the return of defender Kenny Burtz. Burtz was the 2006 Rochester Rhinos Rookie of the Year. He was playing with SV Elversberg of the German 3rd Division. He signs a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year club option. So Kenny Burtz will not be in the lineup tonight, but again, he is back in Rochester, should make his mark very soon for the Rochester Rhinos. And the Rhinos also signing forward Andrew Leray, the 19-year-old of Erie, Pennsylvania, played his college soccer for a bit at Gannon University. And watching Leray in training, he's got some potential. He looks like he could develop into some promising forward for the Rochester Rhinos. Midfielder Johnny Menyongar, this is a chance for him to face his former team, the Minnesota Thunder, a team where he scored 51 goals over 6 seasons. He did score the game-winning goal on July the 20th when the Rhinos won in Minnesota. As we talked about earlier, Rochester had a point deducted due to the mix-up with the game that Andrew Greger had to sit out. He will also sit out tonight's match as he serves a 1-game suspension for yellow card accumulation. And again, Rochester goes down to 28 points. And Darren Tilley, Steve Guppy, and the rest of the boys have their work cut out for them as they move on to game number 24. The Rhinos in their last 4 games have struggled. They've gone 0-3-1. And let's stick around and see if the Rochester Rhinos can get back to their winning ways against the Minnesota Thunder. And again, kickoff coming up at 7:30. Don Stevens will have the play-by-play. I'll join him for the color commentary tonight from Paytech Park. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the Minnesota Thunder, who come in here currently in 7th place in the USL First Division. You are listening to the Rochester Rhinos pregame radio show, sponsored by Power Trip on Rochester's Country 107.3 and MyCountryFM.com. Welcome back to the Rochester Rhinos pregame radio show. I am Joe Giuliano. Tonight's show brought to you by Power Trip. It's the Rhinos and the Minnesota Thunder kicking off at 7:30. It's Bark in the Park here at Paytech Park. Tickets still remain. Visit the stadium box office for Rochester, Minnesota, and the Bark in the Park promotion this evening. Tonight's opponent, the Minnesota Thunder, currently 7 wins, 9 losses, and 6 ties. They've got 27 points. in the USL First Division. The Thunder coming off 2 home victories last week against some very tough opponents, the Charleston Battery and the Seattle Sounders. Minnesota has moved up from the bottom of the USL First Division all the way up to 7th place, and they're just 1 point behind the host Rochester Rhinos. Minnesota has played their last 8 games at home. They've gone 3-2-2 in that 8-game stretch, and Minnesota away from home has really struggled this year. 1 win, 6 losses, and 3 ties. The Thunder have not been on the road since July 3rd in Atlanta, and since that time they've also replaced Amos McGee. Don Grimenz is now the interim head coach for the Minnesota Thunder. Well, you ask about players to watch for the Minnesota Thunder. Melvin Tarley, he has 7 goals this year. He'll be wearing number 2. In the number 10 jersey, Ricardo Sanchez. He's got 20 points in 20 games. He also scored 2 goals against the Seattle Sounders in a 3-1 win last week for the Minnesota Thunder. He's got 8 goals on the year. So Sanchez and Tarley, a very productive offensive combination for interim head coach Don Grimenz. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Bark in the Park here at Paytech and also look at the schedule in the USL First Division. You are listening to the Rochester Rhinos pregame radio show sponsored by Power Trip on Rochester's Country 107.3 and mycountryfm.com. And welcome back to the Rochester Rhinos pregame radio show sponsored by Power Trip. I am Joe Giuliano. Tonight, it's the Rochester Rhinos currently in 6th place taking on the Minnesota Thunder in 7th place, 1 point separating the 2 teams as they prepare for battle in the USL First Division. Some promotions going on this evening here at Paytech Park. It's a buy one, get one free night. Get your vouchers at all Wendy's locations. Also, the first 1,000 families get the Kodak Fun Saver cameras. That's right, the first 1,000 families receive a Kodak Fun Saver camera as they enter the stadium. And the big one tonight, Bark in the Park. That's right, fans. You can bring your dog on a leash no longer than 4 feet. You can mingle with others, and you can meet the dog whisperer, Mark German, this evening. It's Bark in the Park, and I spoke with some season ticket holders, and rumor has it that there was a pregame party at one of the homes of the season ticket holders, and 80 dogs were supposed to be in attendance. We'll see if they make their way to Paytech Park as well this evening. Getting back to some more serious business, the schedule at hand in the USL First Division. There were 2 games last night on Fox Soccer Channel. Carolina hosting Miami. The Railhawks coming up with a win, their first one in a long time, 3-2 over Miami FC. Puerto Rico at Seattle. The Sounders getting trashed at home, 3-0. Puerto Rico continues to roll in the USL First Division. There are 3 games in the USL First Division this evening. Of course, Minnesota is here in Rochester. Charleston at Atlanta. They'll kick off at 7:55. And Montreal at Portland, 10 p.m. kickoff. Montreal now, they've won 2 games in a row, looking for more wins and a climb up that table in the USL. 1 game tomorrow in the USL. Puerto Rico is at Vancouver as they continue their West Coast swing. Looking at standings now in the USL First Division, Puerto Rico with the big 3-0 win in Seattle. Now alone atop the USL First Division with 40 points. Vancouver 3 points behind them. Then Charleston with 35, Seattle with 32, Atlanta with 31, Rochester with 28, and Minnesota with 27 points. Now, the USL will definitely be represented in the U.S. Open Cup final as well. That'll be on Wednesday, September the 3rd at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. The Charleston Battery getting by the Seattle Sounders, and they advance to take on D.C. United in the U.S. Open Cup final. Let's not forget Rochester winning the Cup back in 1999, so Charleston making a strong push for the USL with the big boys of Major League Soccer. When we come back, we'll look at MLS, Olympic Soccer, and the English Premier League kicking off this morning. We'll talk about that and more when we come back. It is Bark in the Park night at Paytech. Tickets still remain. You are listening to the Rochester Rhinos pregame radio show. Welcome back to the final segment of the Rochester Rhinos pregame show sponsored by Power Trip. I am Joe Giuliano. In Major League Soccer, a bunch of games this evening. The FC Dallas will be at Columbus, DC United at the Chicago Fire, and reports out of Chicago that U.S. national team player Brian McBride will make his debut this evening in Chicago against DC United. Real Salt Lake at Houston, Kansas City at Colorado, and New England at San Jose. There's only one game tomorrow in Major League Soccer, Toronto at the New York Red Bulls. And speaking of the New York Red Bulls, head coach Juan Carlos Osorio is after some speed to complement the very talented Juan Pablo Angel up top. And he's got 2 targets in Major League Soccer and 1 out of the USL First Division. Makumba Kanji of the Atlanta Silverbacks, currently on the radar of Carlos Osorio from the Red Bulls. He's got 10 goals and 5 assists this year. And former U.S. national team coach Bruce Arena is set to be named as the LA Galaxy's new head coach. According to multiple sources, the deal comes a week after Ruud Gullit and Alexi Lalas were let go by the LA Galaxy. And good news for Brighton native. Bruce Arena says he will bring in former Chicago Fire head coach Dave Sarachan to be his lead assistant. Sarachan was working with U.S. Soccer in the player development field. Arena resigned as the head coach of New York last November. So Dave Sarachan looks like he's back into MLS, working once again with his close friend Bruce Arena. Casey Keller finishing his soccer career in his native country and near his hometown of Seattle, Washington. He signed a deal on Thursday with the Seattle Sounders FC of Major League Soccer. They'll kick off in 2009. Keller, the 38-year-old, most recently played with Fulham of the English Premier League. And the English Premier League kicked off this morning as well. A bunch of games, some games of note. Hull in their first ever game in the Premiership, 2-1 winners over Fulham. First ever win in their debut. Congratulations to them. West Ham, 2-1 winners over Wigan. Dean Ashton scoring both goals there. And Fernando Torres, the world-class goal scorer, in the 83rd minute, scoring for Liverpool. 1-0 winners over Sunderland. 3 games tomorrow. Portsmouth at Chelsea, Manchester City at Aston Villa, and the game on Fox Soccer Channel, 11 a.m. kickoff. Newcastle travels to take on Manchester United. Olympic soccer, 4 games today. Brazil 2-0 over Cameroon. Belgium 3-2 winners over Italy. And check this out, Belgium had a red card in the 18th minute. They still go on to score 3 goals, knocking Italy out of the Olympic soccer tournament. Messi's goal holds up for Argentina, 2-1 winners over Netherlands in extra time. And Nigeria 2-0 over the Ivory Coast. Tuesday semifinals, Brazil, Argentina, Belgium, Nigeria in Olympic soccer. And folks, that'll do it tonight for the pregame show sponsored by Power Trip. When we come back, Don Stevens will have the starting lineups as the Rhinos prepare to take on the Minnesota Thunder. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you on the other side. Joe Giuliano saying ciao for now.
Good evening, everybody. It's another soccer night here at Paytech Park in Rochester, and a gorgeous evening it is as the Rhinos take on the Minnesota Thunder, the third and last meeting of the year between the two teams, and it's the rubber match. Rochester winning the last game. The first time they met, it was Minnesota. A pair of 1-0 victories, so the teams have 1 goal for, 1 goal against in the 2-game series thus far against each other. And for the Rhinos, the 24th match of the season. For the Thunder, the 23rd, so Minnesota has 1 game in hand on the Rhinos. Rochester coming in on the heels of a loss last game as they lost in Montreal by a 1-0 score. So now have gone the last 4 games without a win, had 3 losses and a tie in the last 4, which has really slowed them up a little bit here. And we want to talk with the coach of the Rhinos, Darren Tilley. Coach's interview brought to you by the Farish Group. The best seat in the house is in your Farish apartment. See them all at farish.com. And asking the coach, Darren Tilley, if with his team on their 4-game winless string, if his team was maybe feeling a little desperation at this point.
I wouldn't use the word desperate. Disappointed we haven't got results. Scoring 3 goals at home should be enough to win games. Conceding 4 is not going to help you, of course. And then we went to Puerto Rico, and that was, to be fair, a disaster. Coming away with a 4-0 loss here, we were very unfortunate, not enough to get more than 1 point against Puerto Rico, and even Montreal on Wednesday. We deserved more than a 1-0 loss there. So performances are still good. We're still creating lots of chances. It's really just going to take a run of form from maybe 1 or 2 players to start hitting the back of the net for us.
There for a couple of games, of course, it was the goals against were the real problem, but you've settled that down a little bit now, haven't you?
Yes. I mean, some of the problems that I've come into play over the last couple of weeks, as it did at the start of the season, were injuries and injuries in specific areas. We solidified our back at the moment by signing Kenny Burts. That's going to help us. We solidified our midfield by signing Daniel Antunez and Andrew Leroy. and we're always hopeful that our forwards can start scoring goals on a consistent basis.
All right, you've talked about the players that you're signing right now. Were you feeling the need for more depth? Is it just players you're wanting to look at for the future, or what?
I think it's a combination of both. You're looking for players to come in and make an immediate impact in training and in games if they're given the opportunity. But also we're looking for next season as well. And the signings that we've made, we're confident in their abilities, and we're confident that they're going to buy into us and into the club.
Okay. Misunderstanding with the Andrew Gregor suspension as to what game that he was supposed to be actually sitting out. You've been penalized a point by the league, plus Gregor has to sit out a game. Is this bothering the team? Is this sort of playing on their minds at this point?
I'm sure it bothers them, but players are there to play the games. They pick up points, and if there's anything to get untoward that happens in the office, then that's nothing to do with them. Their job is to play the games and to win games. So really, it shouldn't adversely affect them. And certainly losing a point does hurt. But where we are is in our hands, and going forward with 7 games remaining, that's up to us as well.
Yeah, once again, though, you got to play without Andrew Gregor in this one, right?
Yeah, that hurts, and I know Andrew's desperately disappointed, but we have to get on with it. We still have a strong squad. We've still got capable players, and if they perform well tonight, there's going to be points there for us.
Now, players that missed last game, such as Danny Earls missed the last game. Salla's been a little bit banged up. Smith has been sort of banged up. How are you health-wise for this one?
Yeah, we've still got little injuries here and there, but nothing that players can't play through. We're no different than any other team out there. We've kind of gone through our little bit of a bad spell, I'd like to think, and we're coming out the tunnel of it now, and is a push now to get as many points as we can leading up into the playoffs.
You're into a playoff spot right now, holding on to one of the last couple of playoff spots. Really needing to start to gain some ground to give yourself some breathing room, don't you?
Yeah, there's still only 6 points difference between us and I think it's 3rd or 2nd place, which is a couple of games, and with a lot of teams playing against each other, they're all become 6-pointers, as it is tonight with us against Minnesota. So a win tonight will set us apart again, and then we can push on for another home game against Atlanta. We're fortunate we still got 4 home games left.
Minnesota's been playing very well too, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they've picked up some wins over the last couple of weeks. And I know they're a worthy opponent. We played them at home. We played well enough to beat them. But certainly they're going to come in here and they need points as we need points. But us being a home team and knowing what we need to do to get those points, if we apply ourselves well, then it should bear well for a good result.
A couple of players they've got really doing well. Sanchez, for example, is on I think a 5-game goal scoring string. So he's one you certainly have to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a quality player and he's one that's playing with a lot of confidence. But if he plays well, they'll play well. So it's up for us to put pressure on him, to close him down, to limit his opportunities. But more importantly, it's for our players to play well. And if the likes of Johnny Menyongar, Tiger, Luke, Steve Guppy and Matthew Della can't play well, or any of the subs that come in, then we're more of a match than anybody.
The schedule right now is a pretty good schedule, actually. You've got 1 game a week for, I think it's 4 weeks. Sort of giving you a little bit of time to get back to healthy, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. We've gone through a period of 4 games in 8-9 days. And I know the teams that are below us and above us have to play those types of games. They'll be playing 2 games in 6 days or 2 games in 4 days. They're going to be doing that. We get the chance to rest and to work on upcoming opponents. So that's going to benefit us no end.
All right, and in goal tonight,
All right, there's Darren Tilley, the coach of the Rhinos, as the Rhinos take on the Minnesota Thunder here at Paytech Park tonight. And a gorgeous night it is. I'm Don Stevens, alongside, of course, is Joe Giuliano, and another perfect night for soccer.
It sure is, and Coach Tilley mentioned there's some valuable points that the team's got to pick up. Things out of the team's control with the point deduction. Still, plenty of opportunities to make the playoffs and make that a non-factor.
Well, certainly an unfortunate situation, and I think that the league has done a little overreaction on the whole part. I know that, I'm not going to get into that. It's just, it's kind of a bogus situation to be penalized that heavily for something that was really an honest mistake. When the team thought that they did the right thing, they thought they did. He did sit out a game. He sat out the game. He served the penalty. Now he's got to do it all over again.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, the intent was not to put an ineligible player out there and try and cheat the team or the league. Gregory did sit out a game, like you said. I thought it was an honest mistake. He didn't sit out the game the league wanted. Unfortunately, Tim Holt and the rest of the league see it a different way, but it's a very unfortunate situation. But like I said, there are still a lot of opportunities to make up that point.
All right, so tonight at Paytech Park, the Rhinos taking on the Minnesota Thunder. The third and final meeting of the two teams should be a good one. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Tonight at Paytech Park, this is the 24th match of the season for the Rhinos, and it's the 23rd of the year for the Minnesota Thunder. And these teams will be lining up here in just a moment. Again, the third and final meeting of the year between the two teams. As we check the lineups, which are brought to you by Nothnagger Realtors, Rochester's full-service realtor. And first of all, the visiting team, that would be Nick Platter in goal for the Thunder. Platter with a 7-9-6 record of 1.27 goals against average. Through the defensive row, we'll see Andres Arango, John Greenfield, Brian Coleman, and Ty Dombrowski. In the midfield, Stephen DeRue, Brian Savelikis. It's Luchi Gonzalez and Ricardo Sanchez. And then up front, Melvin Charlie, along with Alan Marcina. Checking now for the Rhino starters.
Good attacking lineup there with Charlie and Gonzalez. Look for those guys to be, and Sanchez to be the big factors tonight.
All right, for the Rhinos in goal, Scott Vallow continues to play them all. Has a 7-8-8 record and a 1.17 goals against average. Danny Earls returns to the back row here tonight, along with Scott Pelgudo, Ross Smith, and John Ball. In the midfield, you'll have Danny Antunez, his first home game as a Rhino, Tiger Fitzpatrick, Luke Kreamalmeyer, and Steve Guppy. Up front, John Menyongar and Matthew Delicott.
Menyongar, he plays like two players on the field, but it'll be Antunez in that holding midfield role. Johnny Menyongar will be the link between the offense and the defense, and he's getting healthy. It's good to see him get back into the swing of things. He had a great game against Montreal.
Rochester Rhinos are wearing the black uniforms with the white stripes tonight, and the Thunder all in white. Rochester will be shooting in the net to our left. Scott Vallow will be in goal down to our right. And I don't know what the temperature is, but I'd say it's probably the mid-60s. A little bit of a breeze, and it's blowing from behind us, if the flags are a good indication, sort of blowing across the field. And as you look at Scott Vallow in goal, that would be from right to left, maybe a little bit into the face of Vallow. But other than that, not much of a factor at this point.
Still a bit of a chill in the air tonight. Minnesota, no stranger to very cool weather. And what this does, though, it just really enables you to stay comfortable throughout the match. And maybe instead of guys getting tired around 60, 65 minutes, they can push it an extra 5-10 minutes. The humidity and the heat will not be a factor this evening.
Now we'll see Delicott and Menyongar for the kickoff. And then trying to spot exactly where Daniel Antunez is. It looks like he might be a little bit of a withdrawn midfielder, as Tiger Fitzpatrick seems to be pushing up a little bit as they line up for the kickoff. But that might change up. And we are underway. Has left-footed downfield by Pelgudo on the left wing side, but headed away out toward midfield. Earls in underneath it. Sends it up the wing for Menyongar. Nods it back. Danny Earls again missed last game with a heel injury, but back in the lineup here tonight. Guppy pass off in the middle for Antunez. He'll look around and feed it off to Tiger. Long cross on the right wing side, the far end of the box. Kreamalmeyer after it. Being chased there along with Coleman as they tie up, and Coleman right footed high in the air. Coming down 20 yards out. Headed inside the box by Delicott, but nodded away and back out. Antunez moving in. Delicott a side volley kick. High floater in, and it comes down on top of the net. About 2 feet over the crossbar, so the Rhinos get an early shot away.
Yeah, they sure do, and on the kickoff, it's the theme right away. High pressure, put the ball in the Minnesota's final third, and continue to keep the ball down there. Some poor clearances by the Thunder. Deli goes for the volley, just doesn't make the solid connection. But he's going to have his work cut out. He's surrounded by 4 Minnesota defenders. It's going to be very crucial that Johnny Menyongar and those outside middies get into support positions much quicker than we've seen in the past.
Platter with a right-footed kick comes down to midfield. Nodded aside, in underneath it. It's poked away across midfield by DeRue, and Gonzalez feeds it forward to Sanchez. He's really the one you got to watch. That is booted right back to the center circle by Smith, but returned into Rhino territory. Charlie takes it for the Thunder. As he's tied up by Antunez, the ball pulled away, played back to the keeper. Vallow and Sanchez pressuring. Vallow goes to the outside on the right wing for John Ball. He's chased from behind, turns to get away from Marcina. Plays it back once again into the box for Vallow. Draws it forward. Pass on top. Pelgudo brings it away. He'll try the left wing side, switching it to the near side for Earls, and a pass into midfield for Menyongar. Turns, looking to get away, drops it off for Tiger. Approaches midfield. Tiger left footer through midfield for Menyongar. To the outside for Steve Guppy. As he turns, sneaks away from Savilikis. Top the left wing side, a pass on the outside for Earls, who overlaps. Drawing it down, in line, cross along the 6 inside, booted up in the air, and out of the box. Underneath the Tiger, heads it to the outside, but that's behind Guppy and out. So a throw in on the near side for the Thunder at their own side of midfield.
And on that last play, Guppy just showed his experience. Savilikis came sprinting in, trying to win the ball. Guppy just a simple little step to the side. Savilikis goes stumbling, and Guppy serves a nice ball.
Feet upfield. Menyongar's in behind, but offside. The flag in the air, so that stops play. And a restart for the Thunder from their own 25.
You can see the effect of the wind on early on. The ball's played in the air, and Menyongar's waiting for it. The wind keeps knocking it backwards, so it's going to be a factor if you're looking for some long, high balls going into the wind. Vice versa, you want to take some off if you're going the other way with that strong wind at your back.
Well, as we look now at the flags, you'll see that the wind has shifted a little bit, almost blowing directly into the face of Scott Ballo. Laid off of the near wing. Earls heads it in the air, but a little bit too much oomph underneath it, and it's up into the stands. Throw in on the near side for the Thunder. Savilikis with the throw in. Lighted over top of Sanchez, and Tarley after, but Smith gets to it for the Rhinos. He'll bang it off on a play on the near side. Throw in for the Thunder from 35 yards out. Savilikis with a throw in. Sanchez would stop there. Guppy drops it back. Left footed away by Earls out through midfield. Chased back in his own end. Headed forward by Arango for Gonzalez. He'll tip it away, but the foul is called, and so the Rhinos have a restart their own side of midfield.
A little pushing off the ball and watching Sanchez early on. He's a true number 10. He plays right in the middle of the park. Looks to distribute, and a very technical player. A lot of experience coming out of Mexico. And he's got kind of a free roll. He kind of roams around the pitch, looks to create, looks to score. It'll be interesting to see how Antunez does on him.
Throw in by Savilikis through midfield. After it, Marcinez. Smith watching him. Along the near touchline, goes to the corner. Smith tips it out. Throw in for the Thunder, about 15 yards out on the right wing side. And moving over for the throw in will be Savilikis, a newcomer. First time we've had a look at him. That is Brian Savilikis, a 24-year-old out of Omaha. Good size at 6'3", 185.
And you can see he wants to make the head coach, Grimenz, very impressed. He's got some energy, some momentum. Maybe a little out of control on the early challenges with Guppy. We'll see if he settles down.
Here's the throw in. On the 6, Earls gets to it. The first time it away out of the box. Big bounce out of the 35, headed for by Coleman. But in turn taken away by the Rhinos. Menyongar to the outside of the near wing for Guppy. Sends it up the left wing. Tiger trying to run on as he is bumped by Savilikis. Puts it away off of Arango and out. Nice play there, and it'll be a throw in for the Rhinos. 40 yards out off the left wing side. Guppy hustling, trying to get to the ball. In case you didn't notice, that is Steve Guppy with considerably less hair than he had before. He got his haircut.
Yeah, he's got the buzz going, and again, we talked about Sanchez and Tarley from Minnesota. 8 goals and 7 goals for each of them, so they're going to be a handful for the Rhinos defense to deal with
as
tonight.
Tiger makes it through, but down the other side, no help there. The ball is played away. Gonzalez with it will drop it back. Savilikis feeds it up the wing and carried forward along the near wing. Gonzalez drives it through midfield for Marcina, takes it off the chest, and the whistle is stop play. Evidently the ball hit him on the arm, so they're calling a handball and a restart for the Rhinos from their own 35.
I think Marcina, it was a handball. He kind of waited, hesitated there for the whistle to blow, and then he a little gripe to the call, but that's a good call.
Back for it, Smith to Palguda. He'll draw it forward out of midfield. Left footer off on the far wing. In underneath it is Kreamalmeyer. Takes it off the chest. Turns, trying to get away from Daru. Drops it back at the 35 for Menyongar. Spin around now. Works forward. Menyongar sneaks it through. Slots the ball through, but it's picked up on the other side and played away out of the box. Dropped off it. Stolen right back. Guppy has it on the near wing. He'll turn it to his left foot. Cut back, but still now switches back to the left foot, looking for the cross off of Gonzalez over the end line. And a corner kick for the Rhinos.
Major mistake there. Dombrowski trying to get the ball out of their own third, but then you got Gonzalez, who just doesn't even put a foot on it. It keeps the pressure in the Minnesota half of the field, now resulting in a corner kick. It's got to be Gonzalez and Dombrowski on the same page, especially on those outlet passes trying to clear your zone.
Kreamalmeyer, right-footed kicker, an in-swinging kick. He'll serve it up. Here's the service into the middle of the box. Head ball. It's booted away and out. Off of the far wing. Taken by Tiger. Rolls it off in the middle. Antunez from the wing, but that's then hammered up into the stands on a play on the far side. Throw in for the Rhinos from 25 yards out to be taken by Ball. Ball on the wing, Menyongar drops it back for Ball to the outside. Now down to the 15 and a cross along the 6 down inside. Big bounce, but handed away out of the box by Civilicus. Carried forward by Sanchez. Turns blocked away by Antunez. In underneath it, however, it's played by Arango forward up the wing, and the Rhinos will take it back. Earls to Guppy. He'll return the pass to Earls, working up the left wing side and across for the back post side. Moving in, Kreamalmeyer knocked it down off the head ball, but the ball blocked away and out of the box. Gonzalez tips it to the outside. Daru on the left wing. Cross the 15, the 35. Drops it back once again. And now the ball is rolled ahead out to Sanchez. One touch forward across midfield for Gonzalez. Slots the ball through on the far wing. Off the left wing side, Marcina. He'll bring it down to the 20. Turns back. Switches and feeds it deep to the left wing corner for Daru as he's tackled away from the ball by Ball. And that's knocked loose. Ball and Daru go down. Foul is called on Ball. Free kick for Minnesota, 10 yards out off the left wing side.
I thought he's actually going to give him a throw in. I thought it was a good challenge. Okay. Minnesota's not happy. Marcina not happy. But Johnny Ball comes in hard on the challenge. Does he have his, they're both tugging at the arms. That's a good no call by the official. Continue to play. Minnesota gets the throw, but I like that no call.
All right, throw into the end line. Ball blocked by Antunez, and then it's poked forward out near midfield. It's delicate to net it down for Menyongar. He'll switch to the outside of the left wing. Guppy after it, and won't get there in time.
Maybe 5 years ago, but Guppy, speed is not his thing. He's technical. He's got great vision. To run a ball down like that, 39 years old, very difficult for the player assistant to do. A little more to his feet, he'll be the effective player.
Speed is not his thing. Let's see. I'm going to tell him you said that.
He'll go.
And then I'm going to have him I'm going to have him challenge you for a race.
I would love to. He would beat me, and I would say, I told you he's fast.
Played out on the left wing side. Coleman has it. He'll right-foot it out through midfield. That's in behind everybody. Big bounce of the ball. Smith is back, heads it off to the keeper, and Vallow takes it on the first hop.
For a warm-up, how about you and I race, and then we'll see what happens.
Off the left wing side, what's that?
For a warm-up, how about you and I race, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, okay, that would look real good.
Halftime show.
I'll get my car. And it's brought forward. Balguda feed out to midfield for Guppy. Cross midfield to the outside. Up the left wing is Earls. Cross it down to the 20 and across along the 18, but that's picked off by Arango. And the ball is carried away by the Thunder. Gonzalez turning back, drops it to the outside. Once again, Arango from his 20. Brings it upfield. Pass ahead near midfield as he gets tied up, comes loose, and Dombrowski will drop it back in the middle, taken and played by Greenfield off in the far wing. Feed forward, Sanchez drops it back. Dombrowski again to the outside for Coleman on the left. As he approaches midfield, a long chip up the wing, and Marcina after it. Boy, it looked like he was in behind and offside. The ball rolling all the way down to the corner. And still kept in play. Rolls it along the end line. Still comes up with it. Now across along the 6 inside. But headed away now by Earls to Tiger. Drops it off. Antunez. One tip off into the middle for Guppy. Long look upfield. He'll send it to open space on the left wing, but bends it out of bounds. Throw in for the Thunder from their own 35 on the near side.
Civilicus, he's definitely under some pressure. The Rounds want to see what he can handle. They're sensing a bit of a weakness. Maybe some overexcitement by the youngster to impress, and Guppy Earls trying to pick on this side here to see how he responds. So far, it hasn't been too bad, but again, he's got a lot to deal with in those two left-footed players.
Cross midfield, out of bounds, so a throw in on the near side. Once again, Civilicus will take the throw in. 11th minute, no score. Get back to the outside. Gonzalez, Civilicus plays it off in the middle, and Greenfield will switch to the left wing side, carried forward by Coleman. Off at the far wing, Daru stops it at the midfield line, takes control. He's watched by Kreamalmeyer. Switching from side to side. On the midfield line, pass in the middle, but blocked by Menyongar off the knee to Delicate. He'll drop it back for Guppy, looking to slot it through. Menyongar on the run, but Guppy continues forward. To the outside for Delicate. Arango, however, steps in and steals the ball away. Now long hit downfield by Arango. Big bounce in the ball at the Rochester 25. Marcina off the chest, but then taken away by Smith, and the ball rolls to the corner. It's left-footed out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Thunder.
What a great run by Johnny Menyongar. Everything worked out beautifully except for that last touch by Guppy. Just didn't get it there. The defense kind of pushed forward. Menyongar slotted into the space.
The foul is called on Antunez. as Sanchez went down, grabbing onto his left ankle. So it'll be a throw-in. 35 yards out to the right wing side. We're into the 12th minute and no score.
Two other games tonight in the USL. Charleston at Atlanta. Montreal at Portland. The Impact, they've won 2 in a row. Looking to move up a bit in the standings.
Sanchez, 4-game goal scoring string. He's got 5 goals in the last 4 games, including 2 last game. Very dangerous prospect.
Very technical left-footed player. Nice withdrawn position. Sees a lot of the ball coming back out of the box.
Menyongar has Tiger making a run across midfield. Tiger blocks it forward, being chased by Greenfield. As Minnesota gets numbers back, and Tiger spins around, goes down, and the ball recovered by the Thunder. Out to midfield, stepping in. Smith runs into DeRue, who goes down, and the ball is, play continues. The ball all the way down inside the Rhino box to Vallow.
Minnesota, though, you see the importance of speed. Rochester and Tiger Fitzpatrick trying to break out with a counterattack. The white jerseys just blazing back into defensive positions. Got to have speed, got to be able to recover and defend against the counterattack.
Now Gouda drops it to the outside for Earls and then makes a run up the left wing. Guppy with it as he's watched closely by Sanchez. Feed toward the middle for Menyongar. Back at the midfield line for Antunez. He'll lay it off in the center circle. Carried forward by Smith. Yeah, pass ahead. Alguda to the outside. Guppy up the left wing. Earls is overlapping, but Guppy carries it toward the middle. Now slots it through to Menyongar at the 18. Turns back, switch to the left foot side, a feet in front. And the ball is kicked away by DeRue out of the box. And you might wonder if Menyongar might have had a go at it from there.
I think he wanted to, Don, but the ball sat a little bit too tight. Didn't get a little space in front of him to wind up and crack one. But beautiful moves inside the box.
Ball takes it away. The Rhinos have the ball. It's Antunez, his own side of midfield, and working ahead to the midfield circle is Guppy. He'll switch to the outside of the right wing for Delicate. Got the right foot on him, but got away from him and rolled down on the far side. Throw in as the Thunder will take the throw in from their own 35 off the left wing side.
Menyongar at top of the 18. He's just got that knack to cut around the defender. He senses the pressure is there. Crossing the box, and again, the shot just not set up the way he would have liked to, but again, very dangerous inside the box, ball at his feet. Minnesota's got a lot to contend with.
Alguda chases the ball down at his own 20, gives it off to Smith. As he looks around for the opening, feeds it ahead for Antunez. Turns and looks to the outside of the near wing for Earls. Back in the middle, Palguda, as the Rhinos deliberate at the moment, trying to draw the Thunder upfield. It's Smith with a pass ahead for Tiger. He's watched closely by Sanchez, works to the right side, now sneaks it through, and a give and go return pass from Menyongar to Tiger, long up the right wing side for Kreamalmeyer at the far corner of the 18, as he's battling Coleman for the ball, draws it to the end line, looking for a cross, tackle to the ball away and out of bounds off of Coleman, and a corner kick for the Thunder, for the Rhinos.
The whole attack there, Johnny Menyongar is just very precise. He knows when to play the ball quick, when to hold it. That time it was a quick little one-touch. Long ball sends Kreamalmeyer forward, and it just takes a bad bounce. Gives the Minnesota defender a chance to recover.
Corner kick, right wing side, left-footed kicker Steve Guppy. In-swinging kick. Ready for the delivery, and here it comes. High for the back post. Up is Delicate. That's blocked up in the air, coming out to the 18, headed away out of the box. Now upward, Antunez. He nods it forward. Knocked down. Delicate, left-footed shot. Blocked away at the 15. Deli tips it inside the 6, and the rolling ball is scooped up by Platter.
Not sure they're going to call a foul here. Maybe Delicate for a dangerous player coming in from behind, but a lot of commotion inside that box. So a lot of goals are scored. Ball, it takes a bounce here and there. That's one thing the Rhinos really could use this year, is a bit of fortune. A little lucky bounce here and there, and Antunez goes up for the header, keeps it in play. Menyongar lays it off for Delicate. There's just no clear angle to shoot. And Delicate, they're probably going to call him for either a trip or a dangerous play, touching that ball on the ground.
Center ref, by the way, is Chris Penso, his assistant Scott Boniface, and Franco Bevilacqua. The fourth is William Engel. Out of midfield, big bounce in the center circle. Delicate heads it, however, recovered by the Thunder. Pass ahead, flicked down to the Rochester 18, put it away by Smith, but stepping in underneath it, Tarley trying to come away, lays it to the outside for Savelikis. Back in the middle on the 35, one touch forward by Dombrowski, that's stolen away by Tiger as he brings it forward. Left footer, slots it through, no, headed away by Arango, and right back upfield come the Thunder. On the near side, Sevilla sends it to the open right wing. Deep to the corner is Gonzalez. Across along the 6 down inside to the back end of the 18. Stopped there by DeRue. As ball, or make that Kreamalmeyer moves in, blocks it away, then he's hauled down and a foul is called. Quick restart. Here come the Rhinos upfield. Menyongar turns it ahead toward the center circle as he bumps but gets away from Sanchez. Out of the midfield line, long service downfield. Up as Arango blocks it off the chest as Delicate shouldn't sneak in behind.
That's a tough ball for Delicate to deal with. He's got 3 defenders on him. Johnny Ball made a 50-yard dash down the flank. Menyongar just had pressure on him, couldn't release that long ball.
Right back in the middle, Greenfield. Arango pass forward to Dombrowski, the brother of the Dombrowski that played here. That's headed aside by Smith out of the near wing. Tarley after it, but Earls gets there first, and Danny Earls comes away with the ball. To the outside of the near wing for Tiger Fitzpatrick. And on the left wing side for Guppy approaching midfield. Guppy long service downfield, deep to the left wing corner. After it goes Delicate to the end line, watched by Arango. As he turns back to the right foot side along the near touch, lays it along the touch line. That's off the foot of Sevilla. Out throw in quickly for the Rhinos. Guppy up the left wing, Earls, but it's booted away into the stands by Arango. Another throw in. Guppy dropping it back, this time moving in under the ball. Palguda to the outside. Guppy 20 yards out. Sneaks it deep to the corner. Earls couldn't reach it. Just by his left foot. Rolls out deep in the corner and a throw in. About 2 to 5 yards out for the Thunder.
Earls got caught just watching a little bit there. He wasn't able to respond to the touch there by Guppy. He thought Guppy was going to cross it. Guppy sells it and then tries the pass.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't want to do is to try and guess what Guppy's going to do because you have no idea.
Yeah, be ready for the unexpected.
Actually, with Guppy, I think what you do is just continue to do what you were going to do, and he'll fit into your plan.
He's so talented.
Yes. Earl spins around to the outside. Guppy drops it back for Palguda. Draws it forward. He can really sense what's going on the field, you know.
He's the maestro. He's got so much experience, so much vision, confidence on the ball. Great to have as a teammate, as a coach, and as a fan. Just a joy to watch.
Drop back. Right footed by Coleman. Line drive kicked through, and that'll sneak all the way down to the end line where it's scooped up by Vallow. 19th minute, no score here at Paytech. Rhinos have one shot. Thunder don't have a shot as of yet. Earls looks back, drops it off in the middle for Palguda.
We've got a sense
August 25 to Smith.
Congratulations to Charleston from the USL First Division, making it all the way to the Open Cup final, taking on DC United. It'll be in a couple of weeks on the Fox Soccer Channel. So Charleston trying to do what the Rhinos did in '99, win the U.S. Open Cup.
It's Kreamalmeyer drawing it downfield. Nifty move. Switches back to the left foot. Now to the right side. Crossing foot. Poked into the upper 90 on the near side and grabbed by Platter. Picks it off the post.
What a great move by Luke Kreamalmeyer on that far side. The defender's coming in hard. Bites for the fake. He just cuts him back around. The defender slips. Kreamalmeyer's got free rein into the box. That's a central defender coming over, closing the space down. Good defensive recovery there by the Thunder. It was Coleman who went down hard on the move by Kreamalmeyer.
Coleman has the ball at his own 40. Feeds it ahead for DeRue. Drops it back on the outside for Coleman along the far touchline, then puts it away off of the leg of Kreamalmeyer and out. Throw it at midfield on the far side for the Thunder. 21st minute, no score at Paytech.
You mentioned Minnesota with no shots on goal. This is the exact way that Scott Vallow, Ross Smith, and the rest of the defensive formation for the Rhinos want it.
On the way up the right wing side by Arango. Down to the Rochester 25. Guppy comes over, closes down the lane. The ball is loose and then hammered away by Smith out to midfield. Coleman takes it there. Ahead, Dombrowski run over from behind by Delicate. Play goes on. Guppy gives it off to Fitzpatrick, a feet ahead for Menyongar. Now he'll cross the midfield line. Menyongar on the attack. Kreamalmeyer on the outside on the right. Menyongar turns it back to the middle and switches back from side to side. Sneaks it to the outside, but Sevilla is there. Off the left foot, he just pounds it high in the air. Comes down to the 18. Delicate heads it along the 18, but Dombrowski underneath it will kick it away. Antunez. Menyongar to the outside of the right wing for Ball, drawing it forward. Down to the 18, trying to turn back as the ball is picked off by Coleman and carried away. Outfield is Sanchez.
That's just a good, hard tackle by Coleman, the defender.
Antunez takes down Sanchez. Foul is called. Restart for the Thunder. And a quick restart it is, brought forward by Gonzalez across the midfield line. Works wide to the left side. Kreamalmeyer back will steal it away. Gonzalez is still standing there looking for where the ball goes.
He's having a nightmare at 22 minutes in. Just some poor decisions. Not able to get the feel of the game so far. He's been off his mark.
Off the near wing, carried away by Earls. 22nd minute of Paytech. Drop back again. Antunez. Into the center circle is Smith up the right side for Menyongar. Turns to the outside. He'll chip it up the right wing for Kreamalmeyer. Coleman watching. Kreamalmeyer, a high cross for the back post. Savelickas heads it away. You know, he tried to head it over the end line, but he missed.
I think he went for the flick. I'm not sure if he wanted to head it over the end line.
He set his noggin straight for the end line. He tried to knock it out, but he didn't get the end line.
He's actually fortunate because instead of giving a corner kick,
yeah, exactly.
He works out in his benefit to give a throw in.
Throw in on the near side. Short to Menyongar to the end line. Fitzpatrick, however, offside flag.
Yeah, he just was in behind that last defender. A good, quick little flick. Unfortunately for Tiger, who was featured in this morning's paper, just in an offsides position.
23rd minute. Sponsors of these podcasts include the RITN, everything you need to know to be perfectly comfortable. And by Salvatore's, they deliver everything but babies.
He's just outside the 18, Tiger, and maybe coming back from an offsides position.
Head for Menyongar, center circle, but that's nodded away. In underneath it, Tiger, but can't control. Savelickas with it will send it through the center circle. And Coleman spins it up the left wing side, but ball is there to intercept. Headed in the air by Kreamalmeyer, but Coleman in underneath it will take it away to DeRue at the midfield line. Burns it into Rhino territory, pass in the middle. Sanchez, a chip down inside, big bounce at the ball inside the 18, grabbed by Vallo. Rolls it ahead on the right wing side. Back toward the middle where it's taken by Antunez. Looks to the outside, rolls it off on the right wing, and ball continues on across midfield. We're into the 24th minute, no score here at Paytech. Menyongar pass toward the middle, Kreamalmeyer run over from behind, and a foul is called.
Minnesota not happy with that one, but the Rhinos very quick with their restarts today.
Yes, Menyongar down along the 6, but that's headed away and out. Moving in underneath it, Antunez, one touch to the outside for Guppy. Off the near wing, Antunez, now Guppy across with the back post. Up they go, Delicate. Couldn't quite reach over the header. That one spins through and rolls off along the end line. DeRue up the left wing side for Sanchez. Rods it ahead for Tarley. Drops it back again for Sanchez, getting the foot on it. Ball knocks it to up in the air, I guess, with the cleat, so the dangerous play was called, and a restart for the Thunder.
Yeah, high kick there. Guppy earlier, very nice cross. And Delicate had a beat on it, just couldn't extend and reach for that ball.
Spun down in the box by Savelickas, and a one bouncer to Vallo. Rhinos have 4 straight weeks of a game each Saturday night. So it's a great time of the year to try and regain your strength and your health and everything else. It's the season schedule at this point looks like it's very beneficial.
Yeah, you don't want to say it's a soft schedule, but it does benefit recovery time, players who are injured, some more time to get back into the lineup, and a lot of training time. So a lot of focus in these next couple of weeks.
Certainly something that's needed heading into the playoffs. And so if you get through this month period here, come back real healthy, get a chance to really get on a roll. Here's a feed by Menyongar down inside, but Kreamalmeyer back to the frame, couldn't get a shot away. Kreamalmeyer still has it, spins it along the 6, and that's booted away and out top. Tiger turns back with it. Brings it from the 35 forward, sneaks it through. Kreamalmeyer tips it off of the near wing for Menyongar along the 18. Spin around, turns it back, switches to the right foot, takes a shot, but a leg on it, blocks the ball away, and it's just pushed out the near side. Tipped away near midfield. Palguda steps up, heads it right back forward. However, in underneath it, Dombrowski drops it off for Sanchez, and he'll switch it to the left wing for DeRue. And as I was saying, you get through that, then you get on a roll in the final little flurry of games toward the end of the season, and if you can really do well there, then you're on a nice roll going into the playoffs.
And that's the key right there. It's just how you end the season. You know, Rochester had a tough start to the season, tough middle part, but it's all how you end, the schedule in favor of Rochester right now.
Antunez long up the right wing side, cut back by Kreamalmeyer to get away from DeRue. He sends it down inside, up in the air to 6 to haul it down as the keeper Platter.
Minnesota is having to withstand some very heavy pressure from the Rhinos. They're coming out early and often. Minnesota, it looks like their only option is going to be a quick counterattack, but their midfield yet to connect. Sanchez not putting his mark on the game, so it's going to be the defenders trying to hold the fort down for a bit.
Palguda left foots it through and downfield. That went out of bounds on the far side. Throw in for the Thunder from their own 35 off the left wing side. The Rhinos are here next Saturday against the Atlanta Silverbacks. That's next Saturday. Up in the air, nodded for by Antunez. In the middle, carried ahead by Fitzpatrick. Tiger Fitzpatrick, 35 yards out, looking to slot it through. Off the foot of Greenfield in the air. Delicott heads it down. Out at the far end of the box, Greenfield after it, chased by Kreamalmeyer. To the corner, Greenfield plays it up the wing, and the ball still in play. Is cleared away by DeRue. No, the ball did roll out, so throw in for the Rhinos.
Minnesota, I think, flirting with a bit of a dangerous setup here. They're just sitting back. They're going to crack once that first goal goes in and may open this thing up because they have not created anything offensively.
Headed away to the out. And it's a throw in for the Rhinos. Off toward the middle, 35 yards out. Guppy goes long to the left wing side for Earls. Takes it off the chest. Watch closely, spins to the end line. Sends it to the near post and is grabbed into the midsection of the goalkeeper Platter. So Earls looking for a little help on the short side from Delicott, who couldn't get there in time.
That's a typical Matthew Delicott run, though. He delays his run, then all of a sudden comes bursting into that near side for a little flick or a little touch on the ball. That time he and Earls just not on the same page.
Ball back, takes it off the chest, chased by Charlie. And he'll feed it to Kreamalmeyer, who drops it off for Antunez. Switch to the left wing side for Guppy. Rhinos bring it forward up the near wing. Guppy turns back toward the middle, now into the center circle, being chased but gets away. Drops it off for Antunez. Right wing to John Ball, down to the 35. Watched by DeRue. He'll go deep to the corner, but nobody making a run. As the ball laid out on the end line is over the end line and a goal kick. Sponsors of these broadcasts tonight include Paytech, personalizing personal communications. By Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, helping you achieve your goals. And by Zweigels, the official hot dog at Paytech Park.
Just a little miscommunication there. As Kreamalmeyer is checking towards the space, it does open up a gap there. Menyongar, I think Johnny Ball expected Menyongar to fill that gap there. So it's still a good idea by that outside defender, John Ball.
All ahead for Kreamalmeyer. Tips it toward the middle and carried forward across midfield by Tiger. He's chasing the guy by Gonzalez. Spins and drops it back for Kreamalmeyer before being taken down. Play goes on. Kreamalmeyer switch up with Guppy to the outside for Tiger. Blocked away. Guppy gets it back. Rhinos still have the ball. Looks around. Feeds it into the center circle, and moving up with the play is Palguda. He'll switch to the left wing side. Off along the near touch for Earls. Watch closely by Savelickas. Still has it 1v1 now with Sanchez. Gives it off to Guppy. Drops it back on the near side. Headed forward. Palguda for Guppy. Spins around. Has it along the near touch line. And now a chip to the end line. Earls after it. Will he get there in time? And nope, evidently not. It's up over the end line. And now a goal kick for the Minnesota Thunder.
Still, though, to put the ball into that space, what Guppy wanted to do is put a little bit of backspin on the ball so it would die just before the end line. That is amazing stuff from Guppy. Just a little bit long for Danny Earls.
Again, the Rhinos are here next Saturday night. That's the next home game. And coming to town, the Atlanta Silverbacks. A lot of things going on that night. 5,000 team pictures to be given away, courtesy of the Democrat and Chronicle. And 1,000 families will receive a Scott Vallow Kodak Fun Saver camera. There's all kinds of things happening that night. Next Saturday night, gates open at 7:30. Here at Paytech.
Let's not forget Atlanta was here a couple weeks ago. 4-3 winners. 4 goals away from home. A huge result for the Silverbacks.
Dowell right foots it through midfield. 31st minute and no score. Flick forward by Delicott. Up after it goes Earls. Heads it forward, but no help there. And the ball pounded high in the air coming down to midfield. Alguda up the back of Marcina, and Alguda takes it away. On the near side for Guppy. He'll left footer along the near wing. Fitzpatrick a one-touch forward, but couldn't sneak it through to Earls. Take it back by Arango of the Thunder, and there Gonzalez gives it off to Dombrowski. Drop back in the middle. Arango spins it, switching to the outside of the left wing for Coleman. He approaches midfield. Coleman right footer all the way down. A couple of big bounces. One bounce actually. No, 2 bounces to Vallow. As he's out to pounce on it at his 18.
There's just no central creative option for the Thunder, who have really struggled this year away from home. Only 1 win. They've been at home for 8 games. They haven't been away since July 3rd, so maybe shaking off some of the cobwebs, but nothing happening so far.
Delicott flicks it in the air, coming down to the 18. Now nods it down from Menyongar, approaching. However, couldn't come up with the ball in time as Arango plays it ahead for Gonzalez. Drops it back to the outside. Savelickas with the right foot delivers through midfield. Charlie with a flick on to the outside. DeRue chasing after it. Down to the Rochester 35 to the 25 along the far wing. Turns back, switching to the right foot, pulls it inside the box, trying to get loose and does. To the end line, across along the 6, ball knocked down and booted away by Smith. Out top, kicking it out of midair, Gonzalez, but he shanked it on the outside of his right foot and puts it wide over the end line. No score in this game, 32nd minute. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Power Trip, Get in the Game, World Jam, Real Jams, Real People, Real Results, and by Auction Direct. For your next car, log on to auctiondirect.com.
You can see now Daru, the outside midfielder, he's just got a bunch of speed going at defenders. That's where the Rhinos have had some trouble this year, dealing with players who have some pace and the ball at their feet. Daru got some space, got an opening there to show what he's got.
Pass upfield, ball steps in to take it away. Smith sneaks it to the outside along the near wing for Earls. He'll bring it forward out across midfield. Earls turns back, looking to get away from Gonzalez along the midfield line. Antunez plays it back to the near side. Palguda along the middle as Smith will work it now to the right wing side. No, switches back again. Pass off in the middle for Palguda. Now across midfield. Long chip up the left wing side. Menyongar's in behind offside.
Well, Rochester's had a lot of success here in this first half with the Guppy and with the Kreamalmeyer on the flanks. Central midfielder now needs to start putting his foot on the game here, giving Rochester another option and again open up the flanks. As Menyongar just a little bit behind the defense, waiting for that long ball from Palguda. Now the center part of Rochester's creative midfield has to get more involved.
Ball headed away, in underneath it, carried forward by Kreamalmeyer. Long chip to the outside along the near wing for Steve Guppy as he works down to the 20. He turns it to the outside with the left foot. Chase spins back with the ball and he'll drop it back out around the 25 for Earl. Cross down inside, that's booted away out of the box. In underneath it, Tarley for the Thunder. Antunez bottling him from behind. And there it's kicked ahead into the center circle, carried forward by Gonzalez. To the outside, out the left wing is Sanchez. Ball watching him, Sanchez on the left wing. Switching back to the left foot side, carries it along the far touchline. Trying to draw forward. Ball battling as he reaches in and takes the ball away. And the ball rolls to the end line, and ball on it. Off the foot of Sanchez, rolls along the line, getting to it. Finally, Smith plays it out of the far wing, and now it's kicked out of bounds. Throw in on the far side for the Rhinos from their own 25.
So there's been a slight adjustment as well, tactically for the Rhinos. Menyongar definitely playing much higher now, alongside of Matthew Delicott instead of withdrawn. So Coach Tilley wants to get more options up top to help out Matthew Delicott.
Well, the Rhinos have one new player in the lineup tonight. That's playing or did start the game, Daniel Antunez. There's another one that's available for substitution, Andrew Lori. Kenny Burtz is here, but unfortunately unable to play. I don't believe his international clearance came through at this point. So he'll probably be in the mix next week. A shot in from Sanchez off the left wing. Way up over top of everything and out of play.
There's a look at Antunez, the new midfielder for the Rhinos. You also mentioned Lori. Had a chance to watch Lori in training, the 19-year-old who played at Gannon University. I tell you, he has got some raw potential. He's got some great leadership in Darren Tilley and Steve Guppy. Lori,
very big, very strong.
Big, strong player, put some nice goals in the back of the net during training. I think he could turn into something special.
And then the Rhinos also bringing back Hines, who was with us for a couple of games earlier, and everybody really liked him.
He had a good showing. Right away, I thought he would fit in with this club, and his Harrisburg season comes to an end and returns to Rochester.
Guppy tackled down by Savilicus. Foul is called. The Rhinos with a restart. Caught it 15 yards out off the left wing side.
This is prime real estate for Steve Guppy or Kreamalmeyer. It depends if you want the outswinger or the in-swinger. Kreamalmeyer really, as of late, has been hitting these balls, I think, even better than Steve Guppy. Not sure if he had some training with the master, but you've got two great options in Guppy and Kreamalmeyer.
Two-man wall at the near end of the 18. As Guppy, now Kreamalmeyer, overstep. Guppy will take it, serves it for the back post down inside. That's not loose into the goal. Picked off the upper 90 by Platter, who got the chip on it. It looks like maybe Palguda got the right foot on it to tip it for the upper corner.
You know, you didn't think he was going to touch on the ball because they were fighting for position inside the 18. And all of a sudden, the left foot just comes poking out. That's just good, hard fighting in the box, looking to make contact with the ball. It wasn't pretty, but it was physical.
Still scoreless here at Paytech. We're into the 37th minute. All into the center circle. Rod forward by Arango across midfield. Turning back is Sanchez. Leaves at center circle. Ty Dombrowski, one touch ahead for Gonzalez. His pass behind Marcina, picked off and carried away by the Rhinos. Earl stepping up to the outside for Guppy. Looking for the give and go. Earl's along the near side, being chased down. As that's tipped out by Sanchez. Oh, they said it went off of Earl's.
I thought Sanchez did a great job. I was just going to compliment his defensive work coming back. And they get the throw in.
On the near wing. Pass is inbounds. Gonzalez turning back, but he gets tied up. It's taken away by Antunez. Drops it off in the middle for Kreamalmeyer from 25. Takes a crack at it, but that one spins wide off of the Minnesota player and out over the end line. A corner kick for the Rhinos.
Looks like Antunez is kind of playing behind Tiger Fitzpatrick as a holding midfielder. He's got some nice touch on the ball, some very nice vision. Let's to see what he can do, maybe in more of an offensive midfield role.
So the corner from the right wing side, Kreamalmeyer, left-footed kicker. Oh, wait a minute, Guppy, a left-footed kicker. Here he puts it in play, high for the back post. Up they go. Palguda knocked it down, tried to get under it. And the whistle to stop play, a foul is called.
Not sure if he's calling a push or a handball. But Palguda coming in again now on the balls that are served into the box. We've seen him score some beauties. He wants to push up from that defensive position and help the boys out up top. That time off the hand, and no harm there for the Thunder.
39th minute, no score here at Paytech. Through midfield, headed by Palguda in the air, coming down to the midfield line. Flicked across midfield by Tiger for Delhi. As Tiger tips it to the outside for Antunez and drops it back for Earls. He's tackled and taken off the ball by Tarley. Came in, studs a little exposed, and, well, he might have a chance of a yellow card there. Up the wing, Menyongar on the left wing side for Earls ahead. On the near touchline for Kreamalmeyer as he sneaks it ahead near the end line. Earls with a cross sends it down along the 15 inside, but too much on it, and the ball headed away out of the box. Tiger touching it back, but that's behind ball. Chasing after it. When he gets there in time, yes, he does. He keeps it in play.
I'll tell you, Civilicus on this near side, he's just over anxious. He's reading into the play too much. He's leaving space behind him. Tarley had Earls marked well. Civilicus also came up. There was a huge gap left on the outside of defense.
Kreamalmeyer and Guppy have switched sides. Kreamalmeyer looks like he's working actually more central. Guppy's outside wide on the right. Well, as soon as I get all of that out, now they're going to switch back.
The switch I kind of would like to, just out of curiosity, to see maybe Antunez push up a little more. You put Tiger in front of Ross Smith and Scott Palguda. Just to mix things up, see what the vision and the creativity that the new player can bring.
Ball kicked away through midfield by Platter. Smith is there, heads it forward. Antunez able to tip it to the midfield line, and Tiger pass ahead. Delicate, one touch forward, but that's headed away back in the box. After it goes Menyongar. Turns to the right. Platter's out of position. He scores! Johnny Menyongar works wide right around Platter. Puts it back in the wide open net. The Rhinos take a 1-0 lead.
You know, earlier in the game, we talked about the Rhinos not getting any fortune or being a little unlucky. Well, luck has found the Rhinos tonight. What an awful clearance by the Minnesota Thunder. I'm sure we'll have a chance to look at it. That was just terrible clearance by Minnesota. Johnny Menyongar in the right place at the right time, anticipating that the ball is going to go in his direction, and it surely does. Antunez flick to Tiger. Just a harmless little kick forward. Delicate, another flick forward. And it's just a comedy of errors in the central defense for Minnesota. Two players converging. No one making the right choice in Menyongar. He's got too much skill, too much talent to be given an opportunity like that.
This of the season scored by number 10, Johnny Menyongar. Go, 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 Johnny, go.
All right, unassisted goal.
Yeah, unassisted with some help of the Minnesota defense, and that, again, just huge mistake by Minnesota defensively. Menyongar coming back again to haunt his former team.
So it's 1-0 for the Rhinos. Off in the center circle, Guppy draws it out across midfield. He's telling Earls to make a run, spins back, drops it off in the middle. Smith has to hustle, place it to the outside for Palguda, and he'll drop it back to the Vallow, the keeper.
I tell you, Don, the move by Tilly pays off huge, pushing Johnny up into a more attacking role. He's right there for the misplay. Good move by Tilly. Good move by Johnny Menyongar.
At the near end of the box, Marcina drops it off in the middle where it's taken by Gonzalez, being chased from behind by Antunez, working to the end line. Gonzalez a roller along the 6, but the ball is carried away by Fitzpatrick to Earls. Draws it outside the box of the near end. To the outside for Guppy on the left wing side. They'll send the long one downfield, and turning backward goes Greenfield. Gets to the ball first. Delicott watching.
Johnny Menyongar, 5 goals this year, 2 of them against his former mates.
By the way, that is his team leading 14th point of the season. He and Salas lead the team with goals with 5 each. Carried forward by the Thunder. Sanchez drops it away to the outside. Off the left wing. It's a Coleman long delivery, but puts it out of bounds. Throw in on the far side for the Rhinos. At about 43rd minute, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Rhinos.
We've seen Rochester give up a late one, too, in the half. So they've got the lead to protect this thing, get in the locker room with confidence. Don't give Minnesota a shot to get back into this.
Ball trying to slot it through, but the ball blocked away and out of bounds by Coleman. Throw in for the Rhinos from 35 yards out on the right wing side. That's the far side of the field. Ball looking for the throw in. Still waiting.
They're trying to clear the Frisbees off the
field. I
see
what it is.
After the goal, they threw Frisbees onto the pitch.
All right, set to go again. And ball gains about 10 yards while they're waiting. As they sends it down deep to the end line. That's carried away. Coleman plays it forward. And DeRue are beginning to work upfield. Antunez steps in, blocks it momentarily. But it got away from him. And Dombrowski plays it to the outside of the near wing. Savilicus gets to it, sends it all the way downfield. And it should roll out. It'll roll out over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Rhinos. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Dr. Donald Dudley. He's located at 90 Erie Canal Drive in the Canal Ponds Medical Complex. By Pellegrino's Deli Cafe, always fresh, always fast, always delicious. And by the Harrow East Athletic Club on the web at harroweast.com.
You go back to the goal by Johnny Menyongar. It was just several balls played right down the middle of the park. And Minnesota just had no answer for what normally would be a routine, a simple clearance. They made a mess of it.
Guppy slots it on the left wing side for Menyongar. Turns back on a spin around. Menyongar has it. Right foots it down along the 6 inside. Delicott knocked down. After it goes Kreamalmeyer. He's pushed away from the ball by DeRue. I can't believe the way he was pushed away from the ball and no foul was called.
Yeah, I think if Kreamalmeyer maybe hit the turf, he gets the benefit of the doubt being at home. Maybe he gets the PK call there, but he's such a strong player, a fighter. He wants to work through every opportunity. And he doesn't go down, maybe doesn't win the PK.
Through midfield. As we're approaching halftime, the Rhinos with a 1-0 lead. Off on the wing, left wing side. All carried toward the end line and now out of bounds. It'll be a foul or is it a throw in? 1 minute of additional time, 1 minute of stoppage time. And a foul was called on the Rhinos, so a free kick for the Thunder.
1 minute. 1 minute of stoppage time.
This is dangerous again. You don't want to give the team who really has not done anything in this first half a chance to go into the locker room feeling satisfied. This is a good opportunity for Minnesota.
Sanchez to take the kick. Complaining that Menyongar is too close. Menyongar backs up a step. And here's the service low in the box as Marcina gets a foot on it. That's booted high and out of the county, out over the end line by Ball.
And it
so
landed
in the corner kick now.
It landed in the dog, let's call it business area behind the field. That's not a ball I want to pick up.
Okay, so a corner kick. Again, Sanchez, left-footed kicker. He'll serve it low into the box and headed away and out top this time of Menyongar. First timing it away all the way out toward midfield. About half a minute to go here in the first half. We're in stoppage time. Long ball falling down to the 18, headed off in the middle, rolls toward the end line. It's out over the end line and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Scott Ballo taking his time. Ross Smith having a few words with the center ref.
And talk about big news out of Rochester this week. Kenny Burt's coming back to Rochester after spending the last season with SV Elversberg in the German 3rd Division. He's on a 2-year deal now. And talk about a big, strong presence in the center of Rochester's defense. Kenny Burt's fills that spot very nicely.
So Ballo puts it in play, the whistle blows, and that's it for the first half of play. The Rhinos now have come out with a win. They've come out with a goal, the first goal of the half.
They've won the first half.
They've won the first half of play. All right. As the Rhinos and the Thunder meeting for the final time this year, and actually a pretty good half right there. A lot of pressure applied by the Rhinos.
Great pressure, and you got the feeling that as the half went on, Rochester was going to put one in. It was a great move by Coach Tilley, actually pushing Johnny Menyongar more into an attacking position side by side with Delicott. I think that paid huge dividends as we saw the Minnesota Thunder make a terrible defensive error, and Johnny Menyongar in the right place in the right time.
All right, as Sam has said, he's got somebody down at the sidelines to talk to. Sammy, take it away, kiddo.
Thanks, Don. Soccer fans, we are now with one of your favorite all-time Rhino players. It hurts. It's Kenny Burtz. Welcome back home.
Thanks, man, Sammy. It's good to be back here in Rochester.
These fans love you here. You went to Germany. You did your German thing. How's it feel to be back home where you belong, baby?
It feels great. You know, I did have a good time over there. It was a great experience. Learned a bit football-wise, but yeah, you guys couldn't. I couldn't stay away from here. Obviously, I'm back here and signed for another few years. I'm looking forward to playing in front of this great crowd we got here in Rochester.
You were a physical player while you're here. Look at these people loving you here. You're a physical player while you're here. Now you got the new do, baby. I'm liking it.
That's right, man. You know, over there, I needed to do something different, and it was what a better way to do it over there overseas. So I got to come back, and everybody kind of see a little change, and you know, it's same player on the field, but yeah, new look. So new look, new number for this season, and but I look forward to getting on the field and showing what I can do.
So you got a new number. You wore the number 4. What are we going to do now? Luke's got number 4. Is he going to give it up? I mean, have you talked to him? What's going on with that?
Well, Luke and I have come to an agreement. We're gonna let him wear it for the rest of the season. It wouldn't be right of me to take that. It'd be kind of silly. We've come to an agreement for next year, but in the meanwhile, I'm going to wear a double 4 in the jersey.
44, look for him hopefully soon, waiting for clearance from International Soccer. Kenny Burtz, all the forwards in the league, after the game, they say to their coach, it hurts because of Kenny Burtz.
That's right, baby.
All right, Sammy, thank you very much. So Kenny Burtz back in the house, and perhaps we'll be seeing him come next week. We're at the half here at Paytech Park, and it is the Rochester Rhinos 1, the Minnesota Thunder 0. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Paytech Park tonight, and a mighty happy group of players. I would think a mighty happy group of fans, all heading out of Paytech Park tonight after this victory, a 3-1 win over the Minnesota Thunder. So Rochester wins the season series with 2 wins and a loss against Minnesota on the year, and the 4-game winless string comes to an end. So the Rhinos getting back on the winning side, and let's see if they can't turn this one into a roll now.
I tell you, had total control from the start to the finish. And confidence builder, new players coming in, making a mark. Good night overall for everybody.
And that's one thing you talked about and you said there a little bit ago is that all of the players that have been added in as the course has gone along, the course of the season has progressed, all have made some kind of an excellent impact, I think.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for in sports. You know, you want to bring a player in, you want to see what kind of impact he makes. You know, you're not going to hit on all of them, but the percentage of success for the Rhinos this year has been pretty high with new players brought in.
And they look like I think they're going to be fun to watch. Antunez had been the first time I saw him. He looked kind of a very so-so kind of a player. I'm trying to think of diplomatic words. Nondescript sort of a player. Not a whole lot of enthusiasm or whatever. But tonight I have to change my opinion from what I saw here tonight.
I think he's starting to get comfortable with the players around him. And Coach Tilley gave him a huge opportunity to start right in the middle of the park. And I kind of sense that he is going to start being a creative midfielder for this team, maybe even push up a little more than we saw him do tonight. He had a good game. Hopefully it continues.
And the very few moments we saw Andrew Lori looked impressive. I think he looks like he'll be fun to watch. And then you bring Kenny Burtz into the mix this coming week. And Hines also coming along out of Harrisburg. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of a lineup we have even a week from tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The key is going to be chemistry. What kind of team chemistry is the team going to have with all these new faces coming in? Is everyone willing to embrace and open up and take everyone in on the team? I think they will. But the result and the effect of that will be seen on the field. We'll see how they all mesh.
All right, let's run through our awards here tonight. First of all, the Save of the Game, brought to you by Lamont Awards and Apparel, your choice for honoring your team, company, or special person. Battle checking the wall. He moves back and forth. Last time, Delicate came off the wall. He moved back to the right post. We'll see if he does it again. Yes, Delicate moves back. Here's the shot in, punched away. On top, hit ball to the end line, and it's kicked away by Smith. Off on the far side and out. All right, so a great punch on that free kick as Vallow got the punch on the ball to clear it away. A big save right there. Otherwise, it might have ended up even just a 1-goal difference in the game.
You know, the key there was Vallow had the wall set up in perfect position. He anticipated the shot coming to the right side of the net, and just a great save. When it's that hard, you can't catch it. You got to punch it. That's good goalkeeping.
Tonight's Pellegrino's sub of the game, which is brought to you by Pellegrino's. Always fresh, always fast, always delicious. As far as the Rhinos are concerned, they had 3 subs coming into the match: Mauricio Celis, Chad Severs, and Andrew Lorai.
I'm feeling good tonight. Let's go with the young guy from Erie, Pennsylvania, Andrew Lorai. I thought he did a good job tonight.
Excellent substitution. He had some nifty footwork, and he had a cross in the middle that set up a potential scoring opportunity. A good selection there, so that is the Pellegrino sub of the game. The Excellus play of the game brought to you by Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, helping you achieve your goals. Drops it off, Antunez working back as he works the right wing side, slots it through to the end line for ball, gets to it to keep it in play, moving to the 6th, pass out in front, knocked down, there's a shot, and Kreamalmeyer puts it away! Luke Kreamalmeyer finishes, got the right foot on it to drive it inside the left post, it is 3-0. So that one gave the Rhinos their 3-0 lead. Big goal by Luke Kreamalmeyer as the Rhinos moved out to that lead and ended up with 3 on the night. All right, the Power Trip player of the game tonight, which is brought to you by Power Trip. Get in the game.
I like Johnny Menyongar coming back and showing why he's having such a great season. Just confidence, great touches on the ball. But again, the kindness in my heart. Let's go with the new guy, Antunez. He did a nice job tonight. Again, his vision to set up Johnny Ball on the Kreamalmeyer goal was beautiful. He scored a beautiful goal. And that's the kind of soccer I love to see.
And played very strong both ways, offensively and defensively on the night.
He's going to make it difficult. Now, Tilly's going to have a decision. You know, what do? You stay with him? If Z. Roberto starts coming back healthy, Antunez is going to make it very difficult for the coach. It's a great position to be in for the Rhinos.
All right, so Daniel Antunez is the player of the game, and the Paytech call of the game brought to you by Paytech, personalizing personal communications. Ball kicked away through midfield by Platter. Smith is there, heads it forward, and Antunez able to tip it to the midfield line, and Tiger pass ahead, Delicate, one touch forward, but that's headed away back in the box after it goes Menyongar, turns to the right, Platter's out of position, he scores! Johnny Menyongar works wide right around Platter, puts it back in the wide open net, the Rhinos take a 1-0 lead. A gorgeous goal by Menyongar, that's the call of the game tonight, and that's the goal of the game it was an outstanding performance right there by several people, including Menyongar. And again, Kreamalmeyer continues to add up the points, now leads the team with 15 points. He had 3 tonight on a goal and an assist.
These are the nights that you want to talk about. These are the fun nights to come out to the stadium and see everybody contributing. I mean, it came from everywhere tonight. Everyone had a solid performance this evening for the Rhinos. And, you know, Minnesota, Johnny Menyongar made them pay for a terrible distribution and terrible choices out of the back. One of the most sloppy teams I've seen coming out of the USL, Minnesota, and they were made to pay here in Rochester.
All right, the next up for the Rhinos, they'll try and gain a little revenge on the Atlanta Silverbacks who come to town next Saturday night. Atlanta had been rolling right along. They kind of manhandled the Rhinos last time they were here. And there's a whole bunch of things going on Saturday night. Let me run through this list again. The gates open at 6:30. Live music by Beatlemania again. They'll be here for pre-game, halftime, postgame. Also, the Democratic Chronicle Readers Appreciation Night. 5,000 team pictures to be given away by the Democratic Chronicle. The first 1,000 families will receive a Scott Vallow Kodak Fun Saver camera when entering. Also, Power Trip Sampling Night. Power Trip will be giving away cans of Power Trip upon the exit from the game while supplies last. And you can save a couple of bucks on tickets. Head by any Wendy's location and pick up a buy one, get one free coupon. So that's all happening for next Saturday night with Atlanta coming to town. Don't miss it. It should be a big one, and we'll see if the Rhinos can't even gain more ground on a playoff spot.
Yeah, Atlanta right now and Charleston are scoreless, so that would be the ideal result. A tie there. They split a point. Rochester takes on Atlanta just 1 point behind the Silverbacks. next week. That would be the ideal setup for that game, and we'll see what happens.
Coming up next, the post-game show with Joe. Sam, what's going on?
Joe, Sam, and maybe even Don Stevens if Soccer Sam can make his way up. He's busy with some television duties. We'll see how that works out. But the number to call, 222-4369. Let's talk about the Rhinos and 3-goal performance against the Minnesota Thunder tonight.
All right, thanks to Scott Morrison back at the station setting in tonight and doing an excellent job there. The final score tonight, the Rochester Rhinos 3, Minnesota Thunder 1. Stick around for the postgame show. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network.
Well, what a night here at Paytech Park. The Rhinos, big winners over the Minnesota Thunder, 3-1. The number to call, get in line now, is 222-4369. This is the Connors and Ferris Direct Call-In Show, also sponsored by Auction Direct. I'm Joe Giuliano. And the Rhinos with the win tonight. Crazy 8s. 8 wins, 8 losses, 8 ties. They have 31 points after 24 games played. They are tied with the Atlanta Silverbacks at 31 points. And Atlanta and Charleston are scoreless late in the second half. Minnesota now, 7 wins, 10 losses, 6 ties. They've played 23 games. They've given up 32 goals this year, and away from home, 1 win, 7 losses, and 3 ties. But what a great performance from the Rhinos this evening. Goal scoring looks like this tonight for the Rochester Rhinos. In the 41st minute, Johnny Menyongar scoring unassisted after a terrible defensive mistake by the Minnesota Thunder. 58th minute, Daniel Antunez scoring with an assist from Luke Kreamalmeyer, a beautiful right-footed shot into the side netting. A great crack from the Rhinos midfielder. Then the 63rd minute, Luke Kreamalmeyer scoring with some help from Antunez again, and John Ball. Kreamalmeyer scoring for the Rhinos in the 63rd minute. 88th minute, Tarley scoring from Civilakis, in the 88th minute, making it 3-1. Your final score this evening. Some awards this evening on the post-game show. The Zweigels Red Hot Player of the Game. And, a lot of good choices tonight. You can go in so many different directions, but I think Daniel Antunez has really shown why he was brought in here to Rochester. A great performance out of the midfield will make him our Zweigels Red Hot Player of the Game this evening. Also, the Pita Pit Play of the Game. Well, ton of choices. All the 3 goals. Definitely prime candidates. Some great saves by Scott Vallow as well. And let's check out tonight's Pita Pit Play of the Game. We'll get a chance. We'll get that back to you. The Pita Pit Play of the Game coming up shortly. Don't forget the number to call, 222-4369. Very festive atmosphere here at Paytech Park. As Soccer Sam still on the field with some television duties. Don Stevens going to slide in and fill in for Soccer Sam. And wow, what a game tonight, Don. 3-1. The Rhinos now with some time off next Saturday. Atlanta comes to town, but what a game.
Outstanding, and certainly for the Rhinos to get out of that funk that they were in, or not losing, but actually being winless in the 4 games, needing to get back on the winning side. Really, you've got to get back to a roll. You've got to get to the positive side, and especially when the team has so few games now over the course of the next few weeks, the other teams are going to be catching up in games played, and so it'll flatten out the. It'll be more reflective of what the actual points are in the league, because there's teams that have played fewer games, but they're a ways behind in points. Now, if they win those games, all of a sudden, some of those teams might be in the mix also.
The big mix-up, an unfortunate mix-up where the league takes a point away from the Rhinos. Do you think that the Rhinos were extremely fired up tonight, maybe due to that fact as well?
Well, I think that, that might have something to do with it, but you know what? I thought the team played very well, and I think the team also felt they played very well in Montreal the other night and deserved a decision out of that one. So it's not that all of a sudden they just turned it on tonight. I thought they played very well in Montreal the other night, as well as this game tonight.
Well, if they're sending a message to the rest of the league, they definitely did a good job of that tonight. 3-1 winners over Minnesota. Don Stevens along with Joe Giuliano. 222-4369 is the number. And let's talk about the Rhinos. 3-1 winners over Minnesota. So 3 games played against Minnesota this year in the regular season. 2 wins and a loss. And I think Johnny Menyongar really enjoys playing against the Minnesota Thunder. He's got 5 goals this year, 2 of them coming against his former team, the Minnesota Thunder. Again, lines wide open, 222-4369. Let's go back to the phone. Let's go to the phones for our first call of the evening. Tammy, good evening. You're next, and you're first in the postgame show.
Hello.
Hi, Tammy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What would you think tonight? A big win, 3-1 over Minnesota.
It was a great game, and I got to tell you, Ross Smith is just my favorite. I think he plays hard, and he makes Gallo's job a lot easier.
It's funny you say that because during the broadcast tonight, Dan and I were mentioning how good the defenders played in front of Scott Vallow this evening. They made it very enjoyable for the Rhinos keeper. Now, Ross Smith is going to have a new partner maybe next week in Kenny Burtz. What do you think about that combination?
I don't know. I was surprised with the new players out there tonight. I thought they played really well together, and they didn't look like they were just getting to know each other. The chemistry is good.
It is good, and it's going to be interesting to see when you get these two big, physical defenders side by side, what kind of impact they're going to have on forwards in the rest of the league.
Yeah, and Johnny looked great out there as usual. It's great to see him play, almost the whole game. And Guppy, for an old guy, is looking really good out there, too. So, and I think Earls just doesn't get enough credit for the work he does. He works hard all game.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Earls.
Oh, yeah, he's just, he's got the legs, he's got the energy, he's got the guidance and the motivation of Steve Guppy pushing him, Tammy. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, thank you.
222-4369, and, you and I, Don, we always make comments about Guppy with his direction of players, but especially with Earls, he seems to push him quite a bit.
He's got him well trained.
Yeah, that's true.
Earls gives him the ball, and he knows exactly to hit for the corner.
It's a great mix, and, if I'm a young player, I'd love to be under the tutelage of Steve Guppy. 222-4369, Iggy, you're next on the postgame show.
Hey, it's Iggy.
Iggy, how are you? Welcome.
Good. How you doing?
Good.
I really like the new player. Obviously you do too. He named him player of the game.
You're talking about Antunez, right?
Yeah, where did he come from?
The Rhinos had him in camp earlier in the preseason. Just decided it wasn't the right time for him. And then what did he do after he was released?
No, he went to Colorado Rapids. He was playing with the reserve team for the Rapids.
After the preseason camp?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happened there?
And I'm not sure exactly what happened there. No, I don't know. But if he was released or what, I'm not sure.
I think he was released by the MLS Colorado Rapids. But, Iggy, I think he could be a creative option in the midfield. I love the way he distributes the ball.
Oh, not only that, but he hustles. I was watching him, because anytime there's a new player, I know how all the other guys play already, but I like to concentrate on a new player. And, boy, he as soon as, he was in the yard box for the other team trying to score. He didn't score, but then next thing you know, he's back on defense. He really hustles. So I enjoyed watching him, and I can't wait till Zé Roberto gets back with the two of them in midfield. Boy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. What do you do, though? Is Tiger going to be the odd man out with Antunez and Zé Roberto? We'll have to see how that shapes up.
Tiger's decent, but I don't know, with those two guys. Now, what's the story on Kenny Burtz?
Kenny Burtz, from what I understand, he'll get some reserve action this Tuesday night against, I think, one of the local teams here. Kenny Burtz will get some time, and maybe Saturday we see Kenny Burtz out full force against Atlanta. What do you think, Tom?
I think there's a good possibility that we'll see Kenny. At this point, of course, the coach has to figure out just who he's going to play, and because he's got so many new players, he's got to see where they fit in. You might as well do it sooner than later.
Kenny Burtz, the only thing that's going to be interesting is, Don and I were talking about it during the game. Smith and Burtz are very similar, hard, rugged, physical players. They're going to be in the center of defense. Is there going to be a chemistry situation? That's my only concern. They're both excellent, excellent players. I'm curious to see how they work together. What do you think, Iggy?
I think Burtz needs to be back there. I still, Minnesota had a lot of opportunities today. They blew them. With Burtz back there, I don't think they get all those opportunities.
I don't know if Minnesota, I don't think they had many opportunities tonight.
Not
they had
much.
a couple.
Vallow had one save, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, 2 saves. But he didn't have any. He never touched the ball in the first half, I don't think.
I think Minnesota, to me, defensively coming out of their zone, passing was just horrendous, and I think Menyongar anticipated that and made them pay the price. But, Iggy, next week Atlanta comes here. Kanji, who is just a terror right now. What do you think about him coming to town?
You have speed like that, and you don't have anybody to match up, and it's not as fast. You just got to play smart. You got to contain. You don't play him so tight. You play a few yards off him, and you just contain him. Not everybody has speed, so you just have to play him smart on defense.
Anything else tonight?
I thought Menyongar was much better in the first half as a withdrawn player. He was more like a offensive center mid, and he distributed very well. In the second half, they had him too high up top with Delicate, and he didn't show his stuff as much,
See, I saw it totally different. I thought in the first half, midway through, maybe three-quarters of the way through the first half, I thought he pushed Menyongar up top to go alongside of Delicate. As soon as he did that, he hopped on that opportunity and scored that goal. And I like Menyongar's move. I love the move by Tilly, pushing him up like that. But, Ig, thanks for the call tonight. We appreciate your time. 222-4369. And I thought he bumped Johnny up top in the first half.
Yeah, it seemed like when you called it right at the time that it happened, when it seemed like he was all of a sudden the one pushing forward. And I thought what they were trying to do is to utilize his speed because the defensive row was not adjusting to it very well, and all of a sudden Johnny's busting through there and he's making runs, and it looked like to me like they were taking advantage of it.
You think he's getting healthy, don't you?
Oh, Johnny?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I've really enjoyed watching him this year. This is the best I've ever seen, including from the time he played with Minnesota, including all the time he spent here in Rochester. This, I think, is the best year I've seen him play.
Great season for Johnny Menyongar. 222-4369. Let's go back to the phones. Dan, good evening. You're on the postgame show. Hello, Dan.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Anyway, great game tonight. It looked awful good.
It sure did. 3-1 and big 3 points picked up tonight.
Hey, the comment I had was Kreamalmeyer was eating that defender up in the first half.
Yep.
But most of the play is over on the left side, Guppy and Earls. I mean, it's hard to criticize it, but the way Kreamalmeyer had this guy, I thought they would have exploited him a little more.
I thought they were both effective, Kreamalmeyer and Guppy on the flanks. I think Rochester sensed that Civilakis is a new defender on Guppy's side. I think they wanted to kind of test him and see what he brought to the table. I think Kreamalmeyer did a great job as well, though. That's a good point.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck. Hopefully we'll do something next Saturday. That's all I have to say.
Hey, Dan, payback against Atlanta. They scored 4 goals in Rochester. That's going to be a team that the Rhinos are going to be heated up to face.
They're not up for that game. They won't be up for any.
That's for sure. All right, Dan, thanks for the call tonight. 222-4369. Back to the phones, and let's go to Katie. Hi, Katie. How are you tonight?
Good.
What would you think? 3-1 win for the Rhinos.
They did really good.
Who was your player of the game?
What?
Who was your player of the game tonight?
I don't know his name, but it's the Irish person.
Danny Earls?
Yeah, him.
A fellow, you sound like you're a teenager, so a fellow teenager gets your vote for player of the game, huh?
Yeah.
Anything else?
I thought they played their best game this season.
Very good point, and you're going to be here next week when they take on Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right, loud and cheer these guys on to victory, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Katie, thanks for the call. 222-4369. The band is still playing, festive atmosphere on the field, and the Rhinos now a lot of time to recover, rest some of those bumps and bruises down, and get back into the swing of things here on Saturday against Atlanta.
Certainly a huge game coming up and a huge string of games coming up. Well, I guess, at this point. In fact, you stop and think about what game is it you can take easy? Yeah. What game can you take lightly? There is no such thing. And it's still a matter of from top to bottom, how many points in the league? Not very many. There's only, is it even double digits? What is it?
40 points at the top of the table.
Now?
24 at the bottom of the table.
All right, it's 16. But certainly from the teams in the playoff spots, one weekend you're in the playoffs. The next weekend you can be a long way out of the playoffs if you're not careful.
I think tonight's game, a huge momentum swing for the Rhinos. Again, 0-3-1 in their last 4 games. They had a couple games where they gave up 4 goals back-to-back. And defensively, though, I think Vallow had a quiet night. Smith, Palguda, they really did a nice job shutting down Minnesota.
Yeah, defensively very nice. And you talked about gaining confidence in some of the things they were doing. I remember the backheel pass from Menyongar.
Nice.
Trying some fun stuff, and that's what you were saying, was it looked like they were having fun again, and certainly it appeared that way. And when you're having fun, you're going to do better, I think.
Crucial to have fun and enjoy yourself on the pitch. We saw a lot of that tonight from the Rhinos. 222-4369. Let's go back to the phones. Adam, good evening. You're on the postgame show.
Hello?
Hi, Adam. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show. What'd you think about tonight's game?
Oh, I was just going to comment on Don Stevens' comment about Johnny Menyongar. He has played the best I've seen him in the last couple of years and stuff. I mean, I think the guy's playing phenomenal in these his injury doesn't even show. And my player of the game is Luke. Luke plays hard every night. The guy got it done, that pass. He set the new guy up for that goal and stuff, which was a blast into the corner. But, man, that was just a great play.
Yeah, if I didn't go with the new guy Antunez as player of the game, Luke is right up there as well. I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling the love tonight, so we're going to go with Antunez, but Luke is also a great choice. And, he came in here from Portland and not some good reviews. They really thought he wasn't going to make it too well here in Rochester. I tell you, he has shocked and surprised everyone. What a pickup he's been.
Well, the thing about Luke is, Rochester, based on, experience from 96, is they love players that play hard, and he plays hard every night. He's just that type of player.
Add to the mix, too, Don, that Luke was playing, it was supposed to be an outside defender, John Ball, the outside midfielder. They've kind of flip-flopped. They can still flip-flop throughout the game, but it's just been a great acquisition.
You know what? Kudos to the coaching staff for figuring out exactly where Kreamalmeyer should be playing and what kind of a game he should be playing. And in fact, there's a whole bunch of things that have happened on this team as far as players are concerned, positioning and so on, that the coaching staff has done a magnificent job on getting him in the right spots at the right time.
That's a great point, because maybe the coaches in Portland and Real Salt Lake of Major League Soccer, maybe they didn't have that feel for where he belongs, and it is a good point for Tilly and Guppy to realize that and capitalize on it. It has paid huge dividends for the Rhinos this year. Adam, anything else before we let you go?
No, just saying Darren Tilly, man, he's one hell of a coach, isn't he?
And really, Don, let's talk about Tilly. Adam, thank you for the call.
Yep.
First-year coach, comes in, the team in the offseason goes through incredible amounts of turmoil. He comes in with almost 0 preseason time. The team gets deducted a point in the regular season. If this is learning on the job, I don't think he'll ever have a year like this ever again in his coaching career.
You might as well learn everything the first year. What the heck,
What else can you throw at the guy?
Well, it's such a roller coaster ride. From the start of the season, going 5 games, your 5th game, you finally score 1 goal, no wins, and then you start to put it together. You go, 7 games without a loss, and then you go 4 games without a win, and up and down, back and forth. You got players that are in and out because of suspensions. You got players that are in and out because of injuries, and it's just, I think he's done a tremendous job. He's still got more to learn, and I think he's going to be even better than the coach he is now. But I think he's done an outstanding job.
If there's any emotions that he hasn't experienced yet this year, I don't know what they are, because what a story it's been for Rob Clark, Matt Ford, Soccer Sam, Tilly and Guppy. Terrible offseason. Things hopefully turning the corner for the Rhinos. Got a few minutes left. The number's 222-4369. The Rhinos 3-1 winners tonight over the Minnesota Thunder. 8 wins, 8 losses, 8 ties. They've got 31 points. Atlanta did end up tying Charleston, so now they have 32 points. They're 1 point ahead of the Rhinos, and I think that sets up good for the Rhinos. Giving Atlanta a win would have given them 34 points now. If Rochester can knock off the Silverbacks next week, they'll jump ahead of them.
Yeah, and it's so close still that you can jump ahead of a lot of teams. But, of course, unless I don't know how many games there are this week, but Rhinos are sitting idle till next Saturday, and the rest of the league might pick up some points on them. So you're just going to have to win every game. You're going to have to win every home game at least.
3 home games left for the Rhinos. 2-2-2, 4-3-6, a couple of minutes left here. We'll recap the scoring quickly for you tonight for the Rhinos. Menyongar, 41st minute. Antunez in the 58th. Kreamalmeyer in the 63rd. And to try and make this one respectable, Tarley scored his 8th goal of the year in the 88th minute, but that was not nearly enough for the Minnesota Thunder tonight, who fall to the Rochester Rhinos 3-1. Bunch of promotions going on next week here at Paytech Park as well.
A lot of things happening. You can go by Wendy's locations and pick up a buy one, get one free discount coupon. There's team pictures being handed out. There's Fun Saver cameras
Kodak
being
Fun
handed
Saver
out.
cameras,
There's all kinds of things. Beatlemania again. They'll be playing.
That'll be interesting.
I might have to go stand down by the band shell there.
Bring your retro clothes as the Night Owls now playing, and another great band here brought in by Rob Clark and Soccer Sam. And really down the atmosphere this year at Paytech Park, much more festive, much more fan friendly, and I think they're really enjoying it.
A lot of things going on every night.
All right, Don, we're going to wrap this thing up tonight here from Paytech Park. You've been listening to the Connors and Ferris Direct Call-In Show, also sponsored by Auction Direct. The final score, Rochester 3, Minnesota 1. The Rhinos are back in action Saturday night, 7:30 kickoff. We'll have the pregame show for you at 7 p.m. It's the Rhinos and the Atlanta Silverbacks from Paytech Park next Saturday night. For Soccer Sam, Don Stevens, our producer, Scott Morrison, I'm Joe Giuliano saying ciao for now, and thanks for listening to Rochester Rhinos Soccer.
WCRR South Bristol Rochester is Country 107.3.